All right, here's part 2 of the Kanye attack with gray-haired dude. No, I don't remember this guy's name. Anyway, this proves the point that CNN's out to get him, Don Lemon's out to get him. So let's go ahead, please.
The West Wing drama that played out today when Kanye West met with the president in the Oval Office. I want to play a clip. Don Lemon is with us and get your thoughts. Here's some of the stuff that Kanye West and the president said. Listen to this.
If he don't look good, we don't look good. This is our president. He has to be the freshest, the flyest planes, the best factories, and we have to make our core be empowered. We have to bring jobs into America. I don't answer questions in simple sound bites. You are tasting a fine wine. It has multiple notes to it. The liberal will try to control a black person through the concept of racism because they know that we are very proud, emotional people. So when I said I like Trump to like someone that's liberal, they'll say, oh, but he's racist. You think racism can control me? Oh, that don't stop me. That's an invisible wall. Would you build a trap door that if you mess up and you accidentally something happens, you fall and you end up next to the Unabomber? Let me give this guy a hug right here. I love this guy right here. Yeah. Come here. Yes.
He did most of the talking in the Oval Office. Don, what did you think?
All right, can we pause it for a minute? They put a bunch of sound bites together to try to make him seem overly dramatic right off the bat. I mean, they edited that, put that on there to make him seem overly dramatic. The way they edited it and everything, I didn't hear a lot of crazy. First off, I mean, he was like, ugh, Kanye, oh, how dumb. No, I didn't even, with their editing, I didn't even hear anything that bad. He said you need to support your president. You need to make him look good. He needs to help us bring jobs to the country. And that doesn't sound like crazy talk, because if somebody else was in office, the people who have this agenda, if their person was in office, they'd be saying the same thing. Kanye's intense. Kanye's passionate. He's a performer. He has made his living and life getting attention from people and giving them art. So he's trying to be passionate and artistic for everyone, because that's how he sees that people are going to hear him. It doesn't make him someone who's lying or nuts. It doesn't. So let's hear what condescending Don Lemon has to say about how crazy and stupid he is now.
I have no animosity for Kanye West.
Can we pause
I'm just going to be honest, and I may get in a lot of...
When someone says, I have no animosity towards right off the bat, it means they have animosity towards them. Okay, let's go.
Trouble for it. I actually feel bad for him. What I saw was a minstrel show today.
All right, can we pause it?
All of these white...
Okay, if it would have been somebody else, he wouldn't have said a minstrel show. It's racist. I think that's a racist thing to say. I think that he's saying that since Kanye is black and Kanye thinks these things, it's a minstrel show. If Kanye wasn't black and thought those things, he wouldn't say that it was a minstrel show. Maybe he'd say that it's stupid and crazy, but, well, I don't think it's stupid and crazy in the first place, but he's calling it a minstrel show. That's racist to do that.
White people, mostly white people, and embarrassing Americans, but mostly African Americans, because every one of them is sitting either at home or with their phones watching this, cringing. I couldn't even watch it. I had to turn the television off because it was so hard to watch. Him sitting there being used by the President of the United States, the President of the United States exploiting him, and I don't mean this in a disparaging way, exploiting someone who needs help, who needs to back away from the cameras, who needs to get off stage, who needs to deal with his issues.
Don Lemon has no right to tell anyone that they need to back away from the camera, even if they're crazy. In fact, all of you out there, get in front of the camera, because we need more voices that are different than Don Lemon's. But He has no right to speak for everyone because African Americans, I've heard from African Americans, are not a monolith. You know, they have different thoughts, they have different feelings, they don't all feel the same thing, they don't all believe the same thing. It's kind of normal, it's a humanity thing, it's a human thing. We don't all think the same thing. Some of us support some things and don't other things. So when he's saying that he's being used, he's being manipulated, no, he's passionate, he's making choices. So Don Lemon's just extremely condescending and terrible. Don Lemon just said, I couldn't watch this to the end. I had to turn my TV off. Well, if you've ever read a cool book, like, I don't know, whatever kind of book, sometimes the end wraps it up, brings it together, takes all these loose pieces, puts them all together in a nice package, and ties up all the loose ends. He didn't watch to the end. What kind of critic is that? Every liberal or progressive or Democrat that I've spoken to hasn't ever finished a Trump speech from the beginning to the end. They've never watched it all the way through, unedited. It's always cut up into sound bites and put on some network to mock. It's always cut up and manipulated. They've never watched a full speech from beginning to end. That's like the same thing that's going on here. If you want to know who people are, what they are, how they think, what they're about, watch the whole thing from the beginning to the end. That's what you got to do. So, all right, let's keep going.
And if anyone around him cares about him, the family that he mentioned today, or whomever, his managers, maybe some other people who are in the music business who know him, they need to grab him and snatch him up and get Kanye together because Kanye needs help. And this has nothing to do with being liberal or conservative. This is to do with honesty. And we have to stop pretending, sitting here on these CNN panels or on whatever network panels, and pretending like this is normal. And let's have this conversation about Kanye West and what he said. Who cares? Why are you sending cameras to the Oval Office for Kanye West? Did you send cameras to the Oval Office and carry it live when Common visited the White House? Common visited the White House and did a beautiful poem, spoken word. It talked about how black people are kings and queens, how we need to rise up and do better. He didn't disparage anybody. He didn't speak in non sequiturs. He didn't do anything awful. And you know, the only people who criticized him and the only people who really covered it were Sean Hannity and his band of hypocrites who are now applauding Kanye West, the same people that many in that group called the N-word because of Taylor Swift and because of George Bush. And now all of a sudden...
Well, I don't believe they called Kanye the N-word at all. I think that that's a dirty lie. Now, basically, do you hear the fire and the passion in Don's voice? Don Lemon, he just really wants to shut Kanye up really bad. Do you hear his passion? He's like, we need to stop talking and thinking and shut up Kanye. We need to shut him up. Why would he need to shut him up? Why? What's Kanye going to say? It all goes against Don Lemon's narrative. I mean, that's, you know, basically why Don's so upset. He's saying we need to shut him up. He's not saying what I say. He's saying like the opposite. He's saying a lot of the opposite. He's helping people, basically. And yeah, he doesn't say the same thing. And that's one of the reasons why TV networks actually recorded it, filmed it and everything. Ratings, you know. Kanye's going to say something new, interesting, surprising, different. So, of course, networks are going to watch it, you know. I'm not saying Kanye's right about everything or he's a genius or any of this stuff. I haven't checked into Kanye that much. It just really interests me, Don Lemon's just massive problem with him. His obsession of anti-Kanye. It's crazy. Can we keep listening to Don try to tear him apart?
He's the person who represents the African-American community. He doesn't. We need to take the cameras away from Kanye and from a lot of this craziness that happens in the White House because it is not normal, and we need to stop sitting here pretending that it's normal. This was an embarrassment. Kanye's mother is rolling over in her grave.
Okay, can we hold on? Don, you don't talk about people's mama like that. That's messed up. Really messed up, Don. Yeah, he's super passionate. He's like, we need to take and rip the cameras away from Kanye and shut him up. And then he's going to his mama, like, yeah, okay, that's probably trying to get Kanye to react. Don Lemon is actually talking about Kanye's mom. That's pretty evil. It's just literally evil. Let's keep going, please.
One of her friends today, or texted with one of her friends today from Chicago, Donda's friends. I used to live there. I know him. She said Donda would be embarrassed by this. She would be terribly disturbed by this. And Kanye has not been the same since his mother died. He kept talking today about, I put the hat on and the hat made me feel strong and wearing a cape. He needs a father figure. He needs someone to help him and to guide him. And he needs a hug more than anything. Kanye, back away from the cameras. Go get some help, and then come back and make your case. Nobody, if you want to be conservative, if you want to support Donald Trump, that is your business. But as you're doing it, have some sense with it. Make sense. Educate yourself.
Can we pause it? I think like everything Don Lemon says is mean, rude, and crazy, personally. I think it's all crazy, wrong. So I guess I have no sense, which is, that's fine. I'm nuts. But yeah, I don't think it gets much worse than a guy who's talking about somebody's mom, like, so aggressively. It's evil. When you talk about someone's mom in the way Don is, that's evil. He's really trying to get him, like, just with this evil passion, just get him. And we need to acknowledge that, I think. Personally, I am. Obviously, I'm doing it right now. But you should think about that. What if someone talked dirty and mean and horrible about your mom and how you started acting weird when she died? Yeah, probably, maybe he did act different. His mom died, Maybe you start questioning, like, life and start researching things, you know what I mean? You start looking into things and realizing some things in life that you learned or thought were a sham because you start questioning mortality. So you do more research or whatever. Of course, you're not going to act the same after your mom dies. That's devastating. Maybe that's why he at some point might have got help or something. He was stressed out and upset his mom died. That doesn't make anyone crazy. So anyway, Don's mean, bad, and evil. The mom thing, terrible. Unlike what Don Lemon is saying, if you feel like you ever need to seek help, I encourage you to do that. It's a good thing. So Don Lemon is making people, Kanye, feel bad and stupid and horrible for seeking help. I encourage you to seek help if you'd like to, if you feel stressed out. It's a good thing to do that. It's good. Don Lemon is expressing that it's crazy, and if you ever seek help, you're still crazy. He's shaming it. He's making it a bad thing. Seeking help is a good thing, and it's good to do. I encourage you to do it if you feel you need help, or if it seems that you need help. It's not a bad thing, and if you do that, I'm not going to call you crazy afterwards. Don Lemon. Can we keep going, please?
Don, we just played a 1-minute clip of that exchange. But it really went on for more than half an hour if you watch the whole thing.
Talking about hydrogen, the last time we really talked about hydrogen, seriously, remember that? The Hindenburg. So Kanye, come on, man. Like, stop embarrassing yourself. And it's not even that. We're doing it because everyone wants to watch him. We're watching someone's demise in front of our eyes. And the president as well.
We're not watching someone's demise at all. We're not watching someone's demise. We're watching someone try to kill Kanye. That's what we're watching, like, right now. We're watching Don Lemon try to kill Kanye. Maybe metaphorically, you know what I mean? Like, kill his career, kill your perception of him. We're not watching his demise unless everyone buys into Don Lemon. Then we're watching his demise. Unless we buy into Don Lemon, he isn't going to be demised at all. You know, that's basically what we're seeing. Now, Don Lemon made fun of Kanye for talking about, what was it, hydrogen or something. You know, electricity was crazy, and it was burning houses down before we perfected it. Science is like always advancing constantly. That's a thing. So for him to act like anything in science, any suggestions are crazy, they're not. You can try them and try new advancements and try changes and things. Some things are also shut down. Like some people shut down advancements and things, and they take the patents and they hide them and they do things like that. So revisiting concepts, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad idea. So let's keep going, please.
The office is sacred. Can you imagine if President Barack Obama had Kanye West or any rapper or any person, entertainer in the Oval Office who said MF? Can you imagine?
Can I pause it for a minute? Well, let me see. Obama had, you know, musicians who used that terminology in their music, but creepy Uncle Joe Biden, he said MF. So Joe Biden actually has cursed and said the F word. Google it, YouTube it, whatever. Crazy Uncle Joe, creepy Uncle Joe has did that. So Joe Biden, yeah, Vice President for Obama.